Have you ever stopped to think about what stops your favorite song, or a new movie, or even a piece of software from just being copied and passed around for free? Well, it's not just everyone being nice. It's actually an invisible set of rules that governs pretty much everything creative we see and use. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that system. Copyright. So let's imagine this for a second. You spend months, maybe even years, writing the perfect novel or coding an amazing new app. It's your baby, your masterpiece. So what's to stop someone from just grabbing it, slapping their name on it, and selling it as their own? Yeah, that's the big question, right? And it's the exact problem that copyright was created to solve.
And the answer is copyright. It's basically a legal right that automatically protects your original work the moment you create it. But, and this is super important, there's a crucial distinction here. Copyright doesn't protect a general idea, like, say, a story about a school for wizards, but it absolutely protects the specific expression of that idea. The actual book with its unique characters, its specific plot, all the little details that make it what it is.
Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we got to look at how these rules came to be. And trust me, this isn't just some dry legal history. It's actually a fascinating story of how technology has constantly pushed us to rethink what ownership and creativity even mean.
It all kicked off way back in the 1450s with the printing press. For the first time, making copies was easy, and that, you can imagine, raised some serious alarms. But the real game changer came in 1710 with something called the Statute of Anne. This was huge because for the first time, rights were given directly to the authors, the creators, not just the folks who owned the printing machines. From that point on, copyright just kept expanding to cover music, movies, art, and now it's in a mad dash to keep up with the internet, software, and, you guessed it, AI.
So as soon as books, films, and music started traveling across borders, it became pretty obvious that one country's laws just weren't going to cut it. The world needed a common rulebook to protect creators, no matter where their work ended up.
And that led to a whole series of major international agreements, starting all the way back in the 1880s. You know, these treaties basically created a global system, setting minimum standards of protection that most countries, including India, have agreed to follow. It's a two-way street. Our creators are protected abroad, and international creators are protected here.
Okay, so that's the big global picture. But how do these massive principles actually work day to day? Let's zoom right in and look at the rules on the ground right here in India. The Indian Copyright Act is actually very clear about what's in and what's out. So your blog post, that song you wrote, your software code, the specific way you expressed yourself, that's protected. But the underlying idea, a simple fact, a piece of news, or a short slogan, well, those are left free for everyone to use and to build upon.
But here's a really key point. Copyright doesn't last forever. It's designed to expire eventually so that creative works can enter what's called the public domain, where anyone can use them freely. Here in India, for most things like books or art, that protection lasts for the entire life of the author, plus another 60 years. For films and sound recordings, it's a bit different. It's 60 years from the day they're first published.
So what if you want to use a small part of someone else's work without having to ask for permission? Well, that's where this really important concept of fair dealing comes into play. The law basically carves out some common sense exceptions to create a balance. So if you're writing a book review and you need to quote a few lines, or you're reporting the news, or using a clip for a class you're teaching, you can often do that legally.
And that brings us right up to today, because right now, the old principles of copyright are being tested like never before. New tech is raising massive questions about creativity, ownership, and access, and it's all happening right in the middle of our digital lives. First up, you've got the classic challenge, which has only gotten bigger in the digital age: piracy. I mean, with perfect digital copies just a click away, the fight against illegal streaming and torrent sites has become this constant, high-stakes cat-and-mouse game.
And then there's the wild new frontier: artificial intelligence. See, our copyright law was built around the idea of a human author. But what happens when an AI creates a breathtaking piece of art? Who owns it? Is it the person who typed in the prompt? The company that built the AI? Or is there no author at all? These are huge questions our laws just weren't built to handle.
And hey, if you've ever uploaded a video to a platform like YouTube, you have probably run into the front line of copyright enforcement. We're talking about automated systems like Content ID that scan billions of videos for infringement. The problem is, these bots often struggle with nuance, leading to endless disputes over fair use, false claims, and what it even means for a new work to be transformative instead of just a copy.
When you look at all these modern battles, they really all boil down to this one fundamental tension: How do we make sure we're rewarding and protecting creators so they're incentivized to make new things, while also making sure that knowledge and culture are open enough for everyone to learn from and build upon? It's a really tough balancing act.
And that leaves us with the big, open question for the future. As technology like AI keeps blurring the lines between a creator and a tool, the rules we decide on today are going to define our creative world for decades. So where should we draw that line between protecting human artistry and ensuring public access in this brave new world?